they've got a huge game. The Utes have a huge game with Oregon this weekend, and it is likely to decide who's going to play for the championship of the Pac-12 conference.
Right.
The Ducks are still a 3-point favorite. But now we know that there's a real good chance that Bo Nix is not going to play.
They both are two great quarterbacks. Obviously, Bo is down, so it's the next man up. But, you got to come. They going to go in like they've been there before, and we all trust them. We trust both of them.
I'm sorry, you said what now? Did you say Bo Nix is down?
They both are two great quarterbacks. Obviously, Bo is down, so it's the next man up. But, you got to come. They going to go in like they've been there before, and we all trust them. We trust both of them.
Bo Nix is down.
Yeah.
You said Bo Nix is down. Well, it turns out that, the boys in Vegas believe that Bo Nix is down, and that's why the Utah Utes are a 1.5-point favorite at 62.5.
Yeah, dude.
This is a huge moment in time. That's a receiver at Oregon saying, Bo Nix is down, so now other guys got to step up.
They both are two great quarterbacks. Obviously, Bo is down, so
Obviously, Bo is down.
Wild.
Wow. Now, to his credit, Kyle Whittingham has been saying, hey, we're going to prepare for Bo Nix because we're going to assume Bo Nix is going to play.
Yeah.
The Heisman Trophy candidate, the guy that's on every watch list for the best players in college football, Bo Nix, one of the best dual threat quarterbacks in the country. As a runner, he is an absolute lethal force. Well, he took a helmet to the thigh knee range last week against Washington, and he was not at all capable after that. I don't care who you bring in. It just doesn't matter to me. It's not going to be Bo Nix. Utah's going to dominate that game. And if Bo Nix plays, it makes you think now that he's going to be limited.
Mm-hmm.
This is a massive opportunity for Utah. Jake, I think now it becomes unacceptable to lose this game, especially if Bo Nix doesn't play.
Yeah, and I think it's the break you've been looking for if you're Utah. I mean, for so many weeks, it feels like, for this Utah program that they can't get a break. They can't get that lucky break that really gives them the edge over the competition. And this is clearly what that is. This is, hey, a Heisman Trophy candidate is not going to be playing in this football game. And to me, it's everything you could ask for. And there's a little part of me that still says, saying that we expect them to win this game is strong. But I have to say, if Bo Nix isn't going to play, I would expect them to win this game. Like, I would expect the Utah defense to dominate. I would expect a turnover in this game for the Utah defense. I would expect them to come out and really get after it. I could see a scenario where whoever they decide to play instead of Bo Nix is going to turn it over. Like, I can see that. And if you can get a turnover in this game, you really should be able to control this game. So I don't know. My question for Chris Houston, that's who that guy is.
That wide receiver at Oregon.
My question for Chris is, was that a slip of the tongue or what is the deal?
Oh, I don't think it's a slip of the tongue at all. I think this is a kid that just answered a question honestly about his quarterback.
They both are two great quarterbacks. Obviously, Bo is down, so it's the next man up.
Obviously, Bo is down. It is next man up. I think
we're going to see if he can play.
No, and Coach Lanning, the head coach at Oregon, said, I would expect Bo to play. But we're preparing, there are guys behind him if Bo's not capable of going. And I think the coach is saying and doing all the right things. But you look at his receiver saying, hey, Bo is down. It's next man up. Bo Nix is not likely to play in this game, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I think Kyle Whittingham's exactly right. I think you have to prepare that Bo Nix is going to play.
Yeah.
But, boy, this is a huge moment in time for the Utes because you feel like without Bo Nix, Utah is going to win this game. You would feel like they're going to beat Colorado because nobody loses to Stanford, right?
Uh-huh.
And nobody's losing to Colorado this year. I mean, isn't the door wide open for the Utes to play for another Pac-12 championship?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And that's what I'm saying. Like, this is, like, think about the program the program over the last couple of years. Think about it. Like, all the adversity that Whit and the boys have had to deal with. It's nice that we get to say, hey, yeah, you're going up to, to play at Autzen and Bo Nix isn't playing. Like, that is huge, man. Like, this could, and I'm not trying to exaggerate, I'm not trying to blow this out of proportion, but think about it. You go and win this game, and let's say they win it handily, right? Because people are going to say, oh, well, Bo Nix didn't play, so they should have won the game. Like, people are definitely going to say that.
Yes.
But if you control this game and you win 35-21, let's just say you kick the hell out of Oregon, right? That then should catapult you into the college football playoff scene. Like, that should put you in a great position to actually get in. You know what I mean? I
think it's going to be unbelievable. And now I think this puts a hell of a lot more pressure on USC because I think you look at the USC UCLA game, and this is what I've been telling you about USC UCLA. You look at that game and you start to understand now that game has real value to it, especially in the Pac-12. And you look at, like, Oregon State has no chance of competing for the Pac-12 championship, right? You look at Utah-Oregon, massive game. You look at the rest of what is going on in the Pac-12. It comes down to USC and UCLA, and I'm looking for the line. USC is now only a 2.5-point favorite. The number is 76. Saturday, 6 p.m. on Fox in Westwood, in Pasadena at the Rose Bowl. 8-2 UCLA, 9-1 USC. I mean, this is what we all play for, because UCLA now with those two losses that UCLA has, losing to Arizona, man, is that not the biggest kick of the balls you'll ever see?
Yeah.
When you're UCLA, you lose to Arizona, and then Bo Nix gets hurt against Washington, and you've probably played your way out of a Pac-12 championship.
Final.
I mean, it's unbelievable, man.
Yep.
And now, that's not to say that UCLA is for surely going to lose to USC, because I don't think it's for sure at all. But I look at the injuries that USC is dealing with, and you just start asking yourself, how much depth does USC really have? It's year one of Lincoln Riley. I think the Dye leg injury, he's out for the year. I think it's just tragic if you're a USC fan.
Yep.
Because he was having a huge year. But, I mean, you've missed so much of Jordan Addison. You've missed all of these guys. And you at some point you run out of gas, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you run into a UCLA team that's got Dorian Thompson-Robinson. He's just still one of the best quarterbacks in the Pac-12.
Yeah, he's gifted, for sure. He's gifted.
I mean, I think that game is massively compelling.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think that these are the weeks in college football where you can get excited, where you can feel like, all right, we have really good matchups this week. And I think that, Utah's got to win this game. If UCLA wants to be legit, they'll beat USC, and it's a very simple, as I always say about the NBA, it's a make or miss league. You're either going to win or you're going to lose, and that's going to define your season. And this Bo Nix thing, that him being out, like you look at, like you just said, like because it's Lincoln Riley's first year in the Pac and with USC, like, the depth probably isn't there to where it will be 3-4 years from now. So it'll be really curious. Like, this is where your season gets defined. When people think back on Lincoln Riley's first year, they will remember the Utah loss. They will remember the UCLA loss if they lose to UCLA, right? Like, those are the things you will remember. So to me, I just think that these type of weekends are what I always talk about when we get into the conversation about me not being a college football guy. Like, these are the bigger games that you really should watch because they're going to be great games.
Yeah, I think it's also interesting what DTR said about USC, by the way. Dorian Thompson-Robinson, who's like a 17th year senior at UCLA.
Right. He's been playing his whole life there.
He straight up said yesterday, I hate USC.
Uh-huh.
And it started a conversation. And one of my good friends, who is a USC alum, has said he hates UCLA.
Right.
But you have what, 30, 40 transfers on that USC roster?
Mm-hmm.
Do those guys really hate UCLA? Does Caleb Williams really hate UCLA? I mean, what has he got invested in the USC UCLA game?
I don't think he's got anything invested in either program. I think he's invested in Lincoln Riley.
In either
program.
Thank you.
My bad. Sorry.
I don't think, and again, I could be totally wrong about this. I don't think there is a fire for USC to win this game the way there is for UCLA. And I understand that USC has had struggles and that USC has had to battle and fight for just about every win the last month this season. I mean, you outside of Colorado, who they beat into the ground.
Yeah, handily.
But you look at Cal 41-35, Arizona 45-37, losing obviously 43-42 to the Utes. 30-14 at Washington State, 42-25 to Arizona State. They beat Oregon 17-14. Like, they've had some real battles on their hands the last probably month.
Yeah.
And it's interesting that when I look at UCLA, they're the complete opposite. UCLA, if you look at, now, South Alabama, okay, that was a letdown game, right? But you look at Colorado, 45-17. 42-32, they beat the Utes, right? They somehow lost to Oregon 45-30. Stanford 38-13. 50-36, they beat Arizona State. And then inexplicably in the Rose Bowl, they lose to Arizona.
Yeah.
At home, they lose to Arizona.
It's inexcusable, dude.
I can't fathom it. And now you've got USC staring you right in the face. I don't know which way to lean on this game. I really don't. I don't know which way to go on it.
Yeah, I would take SC.
You would take SC?
Yeah, because I think UCLA is not here for big games. That's what I think. But
well, it is Chip Kelly. I mean, I don't know. My feeling is that USC will find a way to win this game because I think Lincoln Riley wants to win the Pac-12 championship in his first year.
Yes, I would agree with that.
I think, frankly, and I believe that they've talked about this at USC, Lincoln Riley wants to win the Pac-12 championship every single year he's in the conference.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, is 2 years.
2 years.
So I think he wants to run the table. And I think Lincoln Riley is a phenomenal motivator.
Yeah.
His teams will never be the best the best defensive teams in the conference.
Yeah, well, I think that's Lincoln Riley, right? Like where it's a Lamborghini of an offense and a terrible defense. Like you're giving up. You were going down some of those scores, and I'm like, dude, like you gave up 40 to that team? How? Like, how's that even possible?
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I don't know.
I'm telling you should go with SC. Like like everyone's gonna say, oh, it's DTR and it's Charbonnet and it's it's Chip Kelly and an amazing offense. But I'm telling you, SC, if this is gonna be a shootout, go with SC. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know, man. If Jordan Addison's even a shell of himself, he's better than any defensive back at UCLA.
Yeah.
So I still maintain that Travis Dye's a huge loss for USC. Mm-hmm. I mean, it is a huge loss.
Well, and it's funny how that works with running backs too, because like I feel like you can be like this solid running back, but if the team loses you, they are able to replace you really fast. But with him, he is such a dynamic talent that you can't just replace that. Like you can't replace his ability to catch it in the flat and then run after the catch, right? Like you can't replace the ability in the hole to make that cut that then gives him 10 yards. Like you can't, there are some things, intangibles with backs that you can't replace, just the same way that there are things you can't replace about Caleb Williams and his ability as a quarterback. So that's what I'm saying. Like, to me, we're sitting here talking about if UCLA is going to beat SC, knowing full well that neither of these teams are great defenses and both of them are really dynamic offenses, which to me just clearly says Take SC. SC is one of the best offenses in the country. Like, I would take SC.
I think you take SC, and we'll see. I don't know. I think it's going to be fascinating. I think that I don't know why, oddly, because I hate USC.
Right.
And I think we've talked about this on the show. Like, as a Notre Dame fan, it is in my DNA chain to hate USC.
Yeah, the bane of your existence.
I am oddly rooting for Lincoln Riley.
Why?
I don't know. Because you know what? I think it's because so many people are like, "Oh, Oklahoma's better without him. What a dick!" Like, people were like piling on him for leaving to Oklahoma for USC, and now USC is going to the Big Ten, and he is in a far better position with USC in the Big Ten than he would have ever been in Norman with Oklahoma.
Yeah.
But the whole thing, and I don't know how many people equate this, but Oklahoma's not good. Lincoln Riley, breaking news, was actually really important to the success of Oklahoma. And it seems weird to me that people don't want to talk about that.
Yeah.
Lincoln Riley was incredibly important to the success that was had at Oklahoma.
Yeah.
And when you look at, really, he was Bob Stoops' replacement. When you step into the shoes of Bob Stoops and you get better, there aren't many people who can do that. Obviously, Ryan Day at Ohio State's one that comes to mind. But you look at Edo and Kelly down at LSU. I mean, there's no doubt that Brian Kelly now has been successful at LSU.
Kalani?
But, well, I don't think Kalani's seen success at BYU yet. I don't. I mean, I think there's a lot of people who still wonder how hot his seat is. Mm-hmm. I don't think there's any chance they're firing Kalani Sitake. It's not happening, nor should they.
Right.
My point is, Lincoln Riley rolled into USC with a program that has been down. Excuse me. In a program that's been down for a decade, and boom, just like that, 40 transfers, Heisman Trophy quarterback, and they're probably the odds-on favorite in this conference, probably to go to the Rose Bowl.
Yeah,
probably.
Yeah, and that's the power of a head coach in college football. And I don't know.
You know what it is, and this is my one criticism that I have always had about Kyle Whittingham. It's the power of a head coach that invests heavily in a star quarterback. Because whether you want to admit it or not, college football, much like the NFL, is a quarterback-driven league.
Yeah.
And Kyle Whittingham has, in my opinion, never really invested in the quarterback position. And you're seeing it now because of how unbelievably impactful Cam Rising has been in the last year and a half. You're seeing that now. Mm-hmm. But for how long have Ute fans been thirsty, wandering the desert looking for a quarterback?
Travis Wilson didn't get it done for you?
It's been, but dude, you joke, it's been too long. And I understand. Listen, Tyler Huntley was a good quarterback. I totally get it. But you look at what Lincoln Riley's done at USC.
Yeah.
Bringing in Caleb Williams, bringing in Travis Dye, like leveraging the transfer portal, leveraging NIL.
Y'all feel me?
It's the blueprint for succeeding in modern era college football.
Yeah.
And if you compare what guys like Kyle Whittingham and Chaboy Nick Saban.
Yeah. Program.
Have those guys heavily invested in the transfer portal? No, they haven't. Have those guys heavily invested in NIL? No, they haven't. Has USC? Yes. Yes. Has USC brought in 40 transfers? Yes.
Catch me outside. How about that?
Have they invested in all of the skill positions offensively? Yes. Has it paid off? Yes. I mean, it's unbelievable. And by the way, they still lost to Utah.
How many times is Nick Saban going to have a Jerry Jeudy?
Coach Saban.
How many times is Nick Saban going to have a Will Anderson coming off the edge? Come on, dude. Like, they get it.
I think the difference is that you at Alabama. Alabama.
Gonzaga.
At Alabama, you don't necessarily need the transfer portal because you recruit at a very high level.
Right.
but you still need the transfer portal.
Yep.
In today's world, you still need to. Where's Jaden DeLora?
Yeah.
Where is, you look at Bo Nix, you look around the conference, the transfer portal has had a massive game-changing impact on wins and losses in the Pac-12.
Yeah.
There's just no other way to look at that.
I think you look at a guy in Bo Nix leaving the SEC to go to the Pac-12. That's a huge deal.
Yeah, and Mo Diabate's one that comes to mind. And you have used, and I want to make sure that Ute fans are like, oh, look at this fat little jerk. What a chunky mother effer.
Wow, Dad. Wow.
All I'm saying is that Kyle Whittingham, and I think he's openly talked about it.
Yeah.
Kyle Whittingham has either not embraced it or doesn't have the infrastructure to be a prolific NIL institution or program, and I don't understand why not. Because you're looking at Cam Rising, isn't he an America First guy?
I believe
he's doing those commercials for America First.
I want to say he's got Toyota too, if I'm not mistaken. I think he did a deal with Toyota.
But didn't we just get a new spot for the Utah Grizzlies for America First Credit Union?
Yeah.
And I want to say that Cam Rising's the star of that commercial. Like, Cam is actually doing it now. And again, as much as Witt has not leveraged the transfer portal,
right?
He's been dominant in the junior college level, right? And we can go back to guys like Kalen Clay or, defensively all over the place. Like, I get it. You look at quitter quarterback, noodle arm quarterback last year from Baylor. So, listen, there are instances of it. Lincoln Riley rewrote the playbook on the transfer portal and NIL when he got to USC.
Yeah, the difference with Lincoln Riley and Kyle Whittingham is that Lincoln Riley is able to take these guys and turn them into 5 stars pretty quick.
That's all I'm saying.
He's not taking safeties and making them quarterbacks.
Yeah, I'm not saying that Witt's doing a bad job. I'm none of that.
But there's a clear difference.
Yeah, all I'm simply saying is I think there is some work to, maybe that's how you say it. There's some work to be done.
But listen, I agree with that 100%. But the thing is, this is a philosophical thing. I hope we all understand this. Do not expect Kyle Whittingham next season or even really before he leaves the position to be some prolific NIL recruiter coach, right? That's not who Witt is. Witt is someone who wants to recruit organically, build the relationship, and tell a story about developing you and turning you into an NFL guy. That's the story he's going to tell. And
he wants to take Chase Hansen and make him a linebacker.
Yes, exactly. That's what he wants to do. And to me, times are changing. I get it. People don't like people want to sit up on a dais and talk about how, that Jimbo paid for his entire roster and
Jimbo.
How, I get it. People are uncomfortable paying college football players to come into their programs. But what I'm telling you is that this is just like anything else. I'm not going to write a check to Buddy to come play for me. I'm going to write a check to the Toyota dealership who's going to pay Buddy, who's then going to come and play for me. And if you don't understand that, you're not going to be successful in college football.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I really don't. I just think that everybody here should hit the like button. I do. I think that if
and
all
no, you're not going to get an NIL deal to hit the like button, so don't talk to me about it.
Jerky.
Yeah.
If you would all hit the like button, we would be able to take somebody to the Utah Jazz game, who we're going to talk about in 4 minutes.
Yeah.
We would be able to take somebody to the Jazz game if we get to 9,000 likes, 9,000 subs.
Yeah, subs.
By the end of the year.
And by the way, you guys have been doing a fantastic job.
Yeah, by the end of the year, all we're asking for is 9,000 subs, and we will take you plus one to watch the Utah Jazz take on Donnie. Hey, Donnie.
The Donster.
Donnie and the Cleveland Cavaliers on January 10th. We will take you there in a black car, and we will buy you your own Utah Jazz jersey, whether it's custom or if you would like to get one from the team store, let's do it.
Please.
But we are happy. We are absolutely happy to do that. All you have to do is hit subscribe, be subscribed to this channel, and we'll hook it up. We have picked up 11 subs already today. We appreciate that. So please do hit the like button right now, all 111 of you who are here. We'll talk Utah Jazz in the NBA. Coming up in 4 minutes, Provo Cougar fan says UCLA, fight, go Bruins!
Nobody says that.
Okay. Geoff Johnson, good to see you, Jeff. He says, wow, Notre Dame fans hate pretty much everyone. Everyone.
Yeah.
I hate. Tim Bruchmiller says, AZ to the Big 12. Arizona State.
Excuse
Utah,
me, it's Arizona?
Oh, excuse me. Arizona State, Forks Down.
Nice program.
Nice program.
Glad to see Herm's back on ESPN already.
Yeah, how about that? Herm Edwards fired. Scandal. Yeah, Aspen will hire him.
Who the fuck is that guy?
But then, of course, Utah and Colorado. Don't take Colorado. Nobody wants Colorado. Nobody wants Colorado. Nobody wants Colorado. You want legal weed? Ingest it through Colorado. If you want to win football games, don't take Colorado. I'm begging you to take San Diego State. M. Morris says, who has USC beat that is good? Honest question.
There we go.
I look at their schedule and I ask the same question.
Yeah.
Because they don't have a win over a ranked team. Even though I think obviously the Utah game was unbelievable, but you lost 43-42.
But this is the essence of college football though. Like,
it is.
USC is one of those programs, much like Ohio State, that just gets the benefit of the doubt because they're USC. And there's no way to explain it. There's no way to be like, oh yeah, like here's why Ohio State, who plays absolutely nobody and is absolutely, not justified, gets in every single year.
If USC runs the table and their one loss is to a 20th ranked Utah team, but they've got 2 quality wins over a ranked UCLA team and a ranked Notre Dame team, whether you like it or not, Notre Dame still carries water in this town. If you've got 2 wins over a ranked opponent, explain to me how that's any different than a Big Ten Ohio State. Help me understand that,
and
because
that's my point. It's the same thing, and that's what I'm saying.
Look at the number 2 and the number 3 schools in the college football playoff. That's Michigan and Ohio State.
Seriously, paint this picture.
Ohio State has exactly 1 win over a ranked team, and that would be Penn State, who was 13.
That's right, T.
They're going to play Maryland this week, and they are going to take them apart at the joints. Okay, you're going to play number 3 Michigan. So in the best case scenario, Ohio State has 3 wins over a ranked opponent. 3. If you count Notre Dame, and again, Notre Dame still carries water in this town. They were 5th in the country.
Definitely.
When Ohio State beat them.
Definitely.
So that would be 3 wins over ranked opponents if Ohio State wins the Michigan game.
Is that at the Shoe or at the Big House?
That is at the Shoe.
Yeah.
That's in Columbus.
So, I feel
so
like...
you would expect Ohio State to win.
To win that game. I feel like you would get more credit if you were going to the Big House and you won that game.
And then there's Michigan.
Yeah.
Michigan.
Yeah.
Who has 1 win over a ranked opponent, just like Ohio State.
Yep.
And that win in conference is Penn State.
But somehow, even though it's the same thing on the schedule, the Ohio State gets way more credit.
You got to pause longer than that. But my point is, Ohio State will have 3 wins over a ranked opponent. Michigan, let's say Michigan somehow beats Ohio State. Michigan will have 2 wins over a ranked opponent. And they're the 2nd and 3rd teams in the country. So let's not sit here and pretend you got to have 5 wins over a ranked opponent. Rectally speaking, that's how you get in.
It's internal.
Because let's just be honest, wins over a ranked opponent have almost nothing to do with who gets in.
It's really despicable.
Because if we're being really honest, and if you really want to raise the dickometer...
I'm sorry, the dickometer. What is that?
It's ridiculous.
If you really want to get into what's justified and what's not, I'm going to go and look at the Georgia Bulldogs. And at their best, if they run the table, they'll have 3 wins over a ranked opponent. Is that really that impressive?
It is if I say it is.
Okay, now, if Oregon loses...
Right.
If Oregon loses to Utah...
Right.
Is Oregon really that impressive of a win? Because, again, not to go backward, you took Oregon apart at the joints, bro. You ripped them limb from limb.
Yeah.
You separated their upper arm and their lower arm from their cavity.
This is what people say. Oh, well, that was week 1, and that was, the beginning of the season. And
but who else has Georgia played? And let's be honest, forget the ranked opponent thing. Who else has Georgia played? Oregon, Samford, South Carolina, Kent State, Missouri, Auburn, Vandy, Florida, number 1 Tennessee.
That's
a huge
that
win.
Was a good win.
You cannot take the shine off of that.
Yeah.
Mississippi State, they'll play at Kentucky versus Georgia Tech versus LSU in Athens. Number 6 LSU currently.
That'd be a good win.
That'd be a good win. But is that resume really that much better than Ohio State's?
And that's what I'm saying.
Come on.
This is so when everyone's like, oh, why are you a red ass about college football? Why do you not like college football? I don't like how we measure teams in college football. I don't. We should be able to say, hey, it should be Georgia, it should be Tennessee, and then those last 2 teams remain to be seen.
But isn't this why Alabama's out? Because they've got 2 losses. They've split their 2-2 against their ranked opponents.
Yeah, Alabama doesn't feel like they're a good team by college football playoff standards.
But if I look at Tennessee, Tennessee's biggest game was Georgia. They lost it. But they've also beat a ranked Kentucky team, a ranked Alabama team, a ranked LSU team, a ranked Florida team, and a ranked Pitt team. And yet Tennessee's on the outside looking in, and Ohio State and Michigan are in.
Somehow.
How is that possible? That's
what I'm saying.
That's my rub with the college football playoff right there.
Tennessee is going to be one of the 4 teams. They have to be.
And I'm telling you, again, I could sit here and talk college football all day. I love it. I love it. By the way, no, I'm not getting into the college football playoff expansion. It should be 169 teams. I don't. It should
That's
be.
Right,
it should be 16 teams.
I want Alabama versus a JUCO team.
I
right
want
now.
Alabama versus Utah Tech. I want Alabama versus the University of Amazon Warehouse Union.
Yeah.
I want the best teams in the country.
Gonzaga.
It's not a football program. Okay, a couple of more. Dang Trojan says, good morning, preseason Pac-12 favorites. Okay. San Diego State says, folks, the Bayou call Lou Saban Lil Nicky. Facts.
Lil Nicky.
Okay. Lil Nicky.
What?
Dang Trojan says Utah were the preseason favorites, but had 2 losses before November. USC game with the Utah's Super Bowl. Well, no, it wasn't Utah's Super Bowl.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Look, arrogant a-hole USC fan. That's not Utah's Super Bowl. Oregon's a far bigger game than the USC game was.
It's ridiculous.
Oh, fight on.
Fight on my ass. Go to the Rose Bowl, then talk your junk.
Yeah, go Irish. San Diego State says, folks in the Bayou call Lou Saban Lil Nicky. Facts. Boyd Lake says, it's the one thing that holds K-Witt back. His struggle with managing offense, especially offensive coordinators and QBs. I would agree with that.
Yeah.
M. Morris says, Oregon is the top of the pack, and they couldn't hang with Georgia.
Couldn't
totally
hang
agree.
with Georgia. They didn't get off the bus.
Yep. Eric and Raleigh says, you pay Papa Murphy's to pay a player in an NIL. Well, no, Papa Murphy's pays us to pay a player. It's
a different business proposition. See, this is different. See, this is why is NIL so complicated?
I don't know.
Getting a guy to do an interview is different than getting Buddy to come and play in your program. Your program.
Buddy.
Like, that's 2 different stages of NIL.
Yeah. Buddy. I'm sorry. He said.
I'm telling you, it's one of the institute Buddy into your nomenclature, and you will be forever more cold-blooded.
It's true. It's true, man. Institute Buddy into name calling. You know.
What did Boyd Lake say about me right there?
Boyd Lake says, Jake laughs, but we all know there are days the Alabama lose to the JUCO Giant Killers, and that's what college football playoff is very afraid of.
It is if I say it is.
I would agree with that. Cody Strickland says those are courtside seats, right? Not if you win.
Wow.
San Diego State says, we know the Monty Show gets the NIL deal when we hit the like button.
That's right. That's right.
Support the program.
Support the program.
That's what I'm asking for.
Yeah, come on.
I don't know why. Giggity had a comment that didn't show up. He said, programs explain why Jake is still a virgin.
Well,
when you say program,
That's an issue.
you know. Mike Maples says, of course, Jake doesn't know about raising the dick-o-meter.
yeah. Like, dude.
I mean, Mike Maples, he also says, love you, Jake.
Like,
it is why you are a virgin.
Yeah, can someone please explain to me? Maybe we should book a conference room like UCLA does, and we can talk about the dickometer. Maybe I need an educational course on it. You know what I mean?
Bro, that's called health class.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, time for Uncle Monty's therapy sessions, otherwise known as dickometer teachings. San Diego State says, Happy Founders Day to the bros of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity, Inc. No hazing going on there. Charles Barkey says, cry on is more like it. They're still crying over refs. Well, you should be crying over Clay Helton being a terribly nice human being.
Yeah.
Eric and Raleigh says, I'm not your buddy, pal. Exactly. Greg Hale says, I believe the top 25 is vital to help teams build resumes for the top 10. That's its purpose. I don't disagree with that.
Yeah, I don't know.
I just don't have to. I just don't have to like it. I don't have to like it. All the Utah Jazz and NBA talk on this program is presented by Tri-Day Trading, tridaytrading.com/Monty. It's interesting. Again, another DM conversation about, does Tri-Day Trading really offer? Have I ever steered you guys wrong?
Nope.
Have I ever said, hey, come see us at Super Chicks on Saturday on Riverdale Road in Ogden, and we'll give you free food. You can mark it down. Your food's going to be free if you're one of the first 100 people there Saturday. Good. So when I say, hey, go here, go there, shop with these guys, I think we've done you pretty well, right?
Yep.
So in an economy where so many people are struggling, in an economy where so many people are trying to figure out how to pay the rent, pay their bills, pay for Thanksgiving, get their kid the Kung Fu Grip G.I. Joe, there's one solution that everybody knows works. Try day trading. You should try day trading. Do it at tridaytrading.com/Monty. And again, the only bar that I use is how much money are we putting in your pocket? If I said to you, from now, Thursday, Friday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, in the next 5 days, if we could make you $5,000, would you be interested? Well, of course you would. The question is, are you going to make $5,000 between now and next Wednesday when everybody goes on holiday for Thanksgiving? No, you're not. And you know why? Because you haven't gone to tridaytrading.com/Monty. They quite literally have people every day that went through the Tri-Day Trading program that make hundreds and thousands of dollars a day. And don't take my word for it. Go to their website, watch the free webinar, because that's all I'm asking you to do, right? We don't ever ask you to spend gobs of money. Don't take my word for it. Go to tridaytrading.com/Monty. Watch the free webinar. It's free. It's no obligation. And then make a decision. But you're going to wind up in the same place that everybody else is. As soon as you hear them say, yeah, you can make hundreds and thousands of dollars a day, and we're going to teach you how to day trade at a very high level. And when you're ready to start trading, you're going to trade our money, not yours. And if you make money with our money, we're going to give you 50% of the profit. That's how the program at Tri-Day Trading works. They're so confident that their systems, algorithms, coaching, mentoring, because you don't just show up, leave, and they never talk to you again. You get mentoring and coaching at Tri-Day Trading. They're so confident their systems work that they're going to let you trade their own money to get yourself started. So you have no risk. It's a free webinar that leads you to trading somebody else's money. And all you got to do is go to tridaytrading.com/Monty. And before I start talking NBA and Jazz, just remember, every time you start a new side hustle, you're wasting your time unless it's Tri-Day Trading. We've done Amazon FBA. We've bought crates of returns. We have sold cookies. We have done it all. Go in on your own, tridaytrading.com.